What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Week 6 edition of the Sunday morning live show. I'm your host, Ben Husser. I am joined by Sam Sherman. The reason we are late, Sam's having some technical difficulties. We like to call that the AC problem around here. He cannot get his camera to work. So
Mm-hmm.
you're just going to hear Sam's voice today. You're not going to see his beautiful face, but I promise it will be
You're missing
okay.
so hungover. You're not missing. It's Friday. Yeah.
All right, you guys can start dropping some questions here. We can kind of discuss the slate. I do see one question already. DraftKings cash 2v2, Hill, Keenan Allen, or Devontae Jacoby Myers. Um, I mean, I think I would take the first one there, like pretty easily for me, Sam.
You say it again. My questions aren't just hilarious. They're not even showing up. What
Uh,
was the question?
Hill, Keenan Allen, or Devontae Jacoby Myers. I think I would take the first one.
I would too. I mean, first of all, I'm glad Mike Williams is playing for the sake of it makes Keenan less chalky but I mean, I guess there's no way he's like 100%, right?
Yeah. I don't think he's 100%, but I don't think it matters anyways because it's not like Keenan Allen doesn't get
Yeah, he takes 10.
usage and anything. Like he still gets a lot of targets. Matt brought up a good point in Discord this morning. He's had a lot of red zone targets this season, only one touchdown on them. So, you would assume like that can correct positively. And he's getting looks when they get close anyways, and he gets a ton of looks anyways. So I don't think it matters that
Mm-hmm.
Mike Williams is in.
I think the thing I'm thinking about, I mean, I don't know what I don't think we're actually waiting. Shockingly enough, with all the injury news this week and the slate is ridiculous. I don't think we're waiting really on a ton of like breaking news right now. I think maybe we're kind of waiting on is Damian Brown going to play?
Yeah, I mean, it
He could
looks
be a
like he's gonna play.
yeah. Um, Chase Edmonds or Collins for season long. If it's PPR, I don't know. Bales makes a good point to me. I don't know. James Conner is such a thing, and they're splitting. If it's PPR, I would probably take Chase Edmonds. I know Chris Carson's out, but I mean, with Geno Smith, I mean, I have no idea. I don't know what they're gonna do. First of all, it's Pete Carroll, but like, isn't Rashad Penny supposed to be back? They have Travis Homer.
Yeah, I mean that's just a tough spot against Pittsburgh
Yeah,
with
I mean,
Geno at
Steelers
quarterback. Like,
need is like Big Ben.
there's a
Yeah, some
big,
Big Ben stuff. So
yeah,
good.
there's a big difference between Geno Smith coming in off the bench and looking okay, as opposed to him like prepping for a whole week and like Pittsburgh going into the game knowing that he's going to be the quarterback. Like they're just different situations. I still don't think Geno Smith's very good. So I would take Chase Edmonds as well.
Um, then you can do that. And Fanduel, Cash, Taylor, and Pittman. Is that too many Colts?
No, I think it's fine because I mean,
I think no more than two, but yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't want any more than that, but I do think that's fine. Um, Pittman is a lock on FanDuel for sure at his price. Running back, it
Yeah,
gets dicey, dude. There's a lot of guys like Hunt is more expensive on FanDuel than he is DraftKings, so you don't have to
yep.
play him. Uh, and there's like some other guys in that price range too.
I would say, yeah, I mean, FanDuel, I think it's so much more touchdown dependent. And I know it's not like Jonathan Taylor's been lighting the world on fire with touchdowns, but he does, as you and I have talked about Benham, he just gets so much work at that inside the 5, inside the 10. And so I think I really like Taylor in FanDuel cash, even like more than I like him in DraftKings.
Yeah, I agree. Um, do I still like the Herbert Williams stack? Yeah, I think for tournaments that's a good move. No one is gonna play like I don't think anyone was gonna play Mike Williams anyways because his price shot up so much.
Mm.
But now, like with this whole, injury news, didn't practice all week, he will literally be like 1% owned. Like I don't think anyone is gonna play him. So I do think that's a good tournament move. Still, I have no problems with that.
But I will say this wasn't exactly, we're just waiting for some more. I don't know. I don't know. I think FanDuel and DK are quite different this week. I think Lamar, for me, is a lock on FanDuel cash.
Yeah, I mean, I think Lamar is gonna be the highest owned on both sides. Um, definitely.
Like,
I do like to play. Lamar's always. I mean, it doesn't matter because he runs so much, but he's always a better play on Fanduel because there's no, 300-yard bonus.
hmm
So that works out in his favor more often than not.
cash locks. I mean, I guess if I were to give like, I guess 3 of mine, I would say I'll do the obvious one in Kareem Hunt, and then for me, I would say Travis Kelsey as well, and Darrell Henderson. I'll take the easy chalk.
Yeah, pretty much agree on all those. As locks, Kareem definitely, Kelsey definitely. I think
Like, I'm
are
not saying,
locks.
okay, I think different people, like, okay, is there obviously routes for Kareem Hunt to fail? And of course, I mean, is he kind of hurt? Yeah. So, like, I don't think he's going to get, he's never going to go in there and get like a Derrick Henry 32 rushing attempts game,
Yeah,
obviously.
I don't think he
But
was ever going to do that anyways.
no, but in cash, like, there legitimately, in my opinion, is zero reason to fade him because
Yeah,
if he sucks, everyone has him. And if he goes off, you don't have him, you legitimately have zero chance.
yeah, and it's easy to like if you're losing, like you can swap off. Like it's easy to swap off him. Like there's guys around him that you can swap to. So there's no reason not to play him. I don't think. Especially the same. So the quote, everyone's freaking out about the quote where Stefanski said he doesn't want to kill him. In that same quote, he said he's going to play more than usual. Like I don't know, like why people are focusing
Say that.
on.
I've heard people say that. I've heard like a lot of. I've heard people are like, what's his name, said about like Devontae Adams before, and then Devontae Adams gets like 15 catches, like 200 yards. Like, I don't.
Yeah, he literally
That's such.
said he's going to play more than usual. Like it's
Yeah,
obvious he's going to have
great.
to.
Yeah,
They're not going to trot Dearness Johnson out there for like half of the game. Like him getting
yeah,
a like he can be on a touch
yeah,
count and still get 16, 17 carries and 4 catches. Like that's very well
yeah.
possible.
Stacking Mahomes, Williams, and Kelsey a bad idea. In terms of ownership and leverage, no. I just am of the belief, and I'm wrong constantly. I just do not think the Chiefs are going to have Darrell Williams there, and it's like, oh, now we're just going to start running 25 times a game. Like, I think they already pass like the second highest rate, I think third or something behind Tampa and Pittsburgh, and I don't know why they wouldn't just throw more, especially versus Washington defense. Like, I just don't think
Yeah.
there's.
He out targeted McKinnon last week, but
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's tough to predict if that's gonna carry over to this week. I do think Williams, like on DraftKings, I don't think many people are gonna play Williams. Like early on in the week, I think he was gonna be pretty chalky, but now that we have Herbert and some other stuff going on, like I don't think he's gonna be owned. So I think he's a good tournament play on DraftKings. I don't mind using him in a Chiefs stack.
Yeah, I mean, I have him. I think I have him. I just updated our projections on DFS Karma. You should check those out. And I have Williams projected for like 15%. So I'd say like 12 or 15. It's probably about. So again, not mega chalk, but for his price, it's kind of chalky. Cup, Shepard, Kelsey, or Adams, Allen, Seals. Um,
I like the first one if you could get Shepard to Higgins for what 300 more or whatever that is.
I was gonna say, I think there's no scenario in which I don't play Travis Kelsey. He's so underpriced. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't really like Shepard. I think Shepard's a way more interesting tournament play. Heineke, Devontae, Lamar, and McLaurin. I would probably go the second one, just because
Yeah.
I don't think I need the save at quarterback.
Yeah, it's the second one I think for cash.
2 tight ends in cash, I think, is very viable this week.
Yeah. Can
I
most definitely
I
play. You can most definitely play 2 tight ends this week.
Do you like playing 3 running backs or a flex at tight end? It just completely depends on the lineup. I normally don't advocate. Like for instance, would not advocate in tournaments playing Kelsey and Ricky Seals. I think that'll just be really popular.
Yeah,
And
most weeks I don't play double tight end at all. This is an anomaly week because Kelsey and Mark Andrews are both very underpriced, and then Ricky Seals Jones is like the best value on the slate. So it's just a weird week.
yep. biggest ins and outs from main slate. I mean, I don't know if we're talking like last night. I mean, I think Ben and I have talked about this the last several days. I think I never play him because he's always, I feel like, so overowned. But Dalvin Cook is way too cheap and does not even have an injury tag.
Yeah, I have a lot of Dalvin Cook in tournaments.
I think actually surprisingly enough, even with there's a lot of value everywhere and CMC's out and everything, like Eckler is not going to be that owned.
No, he's not going to be at all.
The Ravens D sucks. But there is some concerns about it, I think a little less on DraftKings because he does get a lot of those PPR points. But I mean, the only thing I don't know is I thought their O-line is pretty hurt in the Chargers. I don't know if that's 100%. Like I don't think it's like last week where the Patriots had like their top 4 linemen out, but I think there's a little concern there, but not enough where I think he's a great tournament play. He's the most expensive and he's going to be under 15% owned.
Kevin, I would take I think I would take Keenan and like the Browns D instead of Cooks. I don't think you need to play Cooks in cash on either side.
Yeah. Tier 2 running back on Fanduel we're playing in cash. Ben, what are your thoughts on that one? It's tough. I think I overrate, like for me, for instance, like Swift is way less appealing on Fanduel.
Yeah, he is.
Not that he's a bad play, but just because like on DK you just roll high. I mean, that was like 7 targets a game. But I would say on Fanduel, like I would probably play Hunt and Henderson.
Yeah, I mean, for cash, it's probably Henderson. But I like Taylor a lot. Like Henderson and Taylor are the two that like I've really struggled with separating one this week. I mean, Henderson's going to project better. They have the second highest team total on the slate. So I think you probably just roll with him. I mean, there is always the chance that Frank Reich, like Jonathan Taylor could have a good game, but it's tough for him to hit his ceiling because Frank Reich will like use these other guys for whatever reason. Like even if he hasn't been using them in the past weeks, like it's always a threat. And
yeah, do you remember last week? Like Taylor breaks free for that touchdown.
Yeah,
and like
they
all
put
right.
Marlon Mack in, and Marlon Mack wants a trade, so maybe they're trying to like use him. I don't know who would trade for Marlon Mack, like why you would do that, but I don't know the logic of what they do, but I don't know. So I think it's probably Henderson for cash. I guess that was a long way of me saying that.
I mean, I think also, I don't think that. I mean, I think that I don't think Devontae Adams is like. I mean, he's always kind of a lock for production and everything. We all know that, but I think he's way more of a lock in cash on FanDuel because I think he's underpriced there.
Yeah, I have Adams. I have Adams on FanDuel. Cleveland weather, I'm not really like worried about it because I'm not playing that game. Like I'm playing Hunt, but the weather, yeah, it might affect teams being able to move the ball, but I mean, Hunt's going to get his touches regardless. The reason that I like Hunt so much is because of how involved he was in the red zone last year when Nick Chubb was gone. He got almost 50% of like the red zone looks, which is crazy. And I don't think he scored a touchdown when Chubb was out last week, which is super unlucky. I will say what I'm worried about in that game is the fact that Cliff Kingsbury is not coaching and they don't have an offensive coordinator. So like I don't know what they're doing about play calling and all that stuff. But that is more of a concern for me, like at least from like the Arizona side, than it is the weather. Because I just don't know. I mean, I think they have like an offensive assistant, but they don't have an actual coordinator. Because that's what Cliff is. So I don't know what they're doing about that whole situation.
If Mount Gordon's allowed, do you like Williams more than Hunt in tournaments? I guess just because the ownership, but I wouldn't say he's a better play than Hunt because, yeah, he should absorb a lot of that work role. But like the Broncos, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what they're going to do in a week to week. They should run the ball with Javon. They shouldn't even if Melvin's active, they shouldn't use him. But I wouldn't say he's a better play, but he will be like an eighth of the ownership. So I would have interest in pivoting to him in tournaments.
Yeah, that's someone you can pivot to, for sure. if he's out. But I think he's gonna play. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I am not playing Carson Wentz, Mike. No, I'm not doing that.
Are
My
we
favorite
scared to play
cheap guy.
scary?
Wait, who's your favorite cheap guy before we talk about Terry? Because mine's Mac Jones. If you guys are subscribers for core plays, you will see for tournaments. I like Mac Jones. I like that Dallas New England game a lot. So if you guys want a cheap quarterback, I'm not playing Carson Wentz, but I do like Mac Jones.
Cheap quarterback. I don't mind Mac. Honestly, if I was playing a cheap quarterback I guess besides Heineke, who will be owned, the guy I would actually take a complete risk on if I was playing like 20 plus, I'd have a few Derek Carr lineups just because no one will own him. And if they actually throw the ball, he just throws the ball a ton. I know the Broncos defense is good, but he'll be like 1% owned.
Yeah, I don't hate that. As far as all the Terry questions, I mean, I think
fine.
yeah, he's 100% cash playable. No problems with that whatsoever. I like Cup more than him. He's 800 more, so you have to move stuff around, but I like Cup more.
Yep. Mini stack with Thielen and DJ Moore. I first of all love DJ Moore. I don't know why he's chalk every week, and then this week no one wants to play him for some reason. But I don't know. Thielen, I get it. He'll be way less owned, even though he's way cheaper. I think Jefferson is just always who I want to have DJ Moore with. I mean, I actually think Jefferson is going criminally under owned this week, but his ceiling is absolutely. I have Jefferson projected for 5% ownership. Now Thielen's like the same, but I mean, if I'm comparing ceilings, I mean it's wildly different.
I'm skipping questions here, but CJ says trying to listen while I'm working in the ICU. This guy, Sam, this guy's working in the ICU and is listening to you and I talk about.
What? CJ's a long-term sub and good guy. Also,
Oh my gosh.
how much worse the stream is when Anthony's on it. So I really appreciate him a lot for that too.
Yeah, we love you, CJ. Khalil Herbert, Jacoby, or Daryl Teagan. Second one for sure.
Yep. St. Brown. I actually think he's interesting. I prefer him like if you're like having a game stack or playing a mini thing with that. I mean, I don't think I'd play him in cash, Ben. I'm not sure if you would.
No, I would play Mecole over him in cash.
Yeah. Favorite mid-tier running back on Fanduel. It's hard to say.
Probably Henderson, but
yeah, I mean, I think a really interesting play who I think he'll be owned, but not insanely owned. I do think Chuba Hubbard is interesting.
Yeah, someone said something about him in chat. He's going overlooked. I do think he's going overlooked.
He's definitely going overlooked.
I don't know what to make of that game, because Zimmer. I feel like oftentimes we love Minnesota, like last week, and what happens is like Zimmer just wants to play slow, and sometimes it just messes up. Like unless they get down big early, like it messes up the game stacks. So I think that could hurt Hubbard a little bit because I think they want to just pound Dalvin today, which is what I think they're going to do, which is just not going to be great for like the pace of the game. But Hubbard got a ton of touches last week. Rod Smith's gone. They cut him. And CMC's on IR. So yeah, I think he's a good tournament play. I do think he'll be lower owned than like Henderson and probably Swift as well. Will probably be lower owned than.
Yeah, it's like a mid-tier guy on FanDuel. I mean, I would use Javonte Williams in tournaments. I don't think he'll be owned on FanDuel. I don't know. But I will say, I don't think the spot is obviously elite or anything, but on Tuesday, I was like, okay, mega chalk is going to be Darrell Williams, obviously, Devontae Booker. I do not think people are playing Devontae Booker.
Yeah, I agree.
And the volume will probably be there. I'm not saying the matchup is not a good one, but he won't be owned. And there's paths where he kind of just gets, 20 plus touches. So, where are we at? Lamb, Chase, Henderson, pick 2. Is that for season long or DraftKings or Fanduel? And is it a tournament? In general, I would pick Henderson and Jamar Chase.
Yeah, that's
Fanduel.
tough. That's tough to bench CD, but I probably agree.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah. Favorite sub 4K receiver? On DraftKings, mine is Van Jefferson, with the caveat that like there is most likely he fails in this spot, but he just, for the amount of routes he runs, I think he's cheap. Where it's like he, similar to like a Deshaun Jackson or like a John Ross type, he basically needs one play and he could hit. But obviously the odds are more likely than not. But I think he's just, near the min, and he runs on a 97% of Stafford's dropbacks, and that's crazy.
Yeah. Mine's probably like Humphreys or Diami Brown, one of those two. Whichever you like
DeAndre
more.
Carter season,
Yeah, Darren, Humphreys in cash on DraftKings allows me to go Mahomes, Kelsey with Hunt, Henderson, Herbert. Thoughts? Yeah, if you want to do that, you can. I don't think you need. I don't think you need someone that cheap. Um,
Yeah.
like I have Kelsey and Henderson and Hunt, and I didn't have to dip that low.
Ben, look at CJ's comment. Jesus Christ, this guy's literally risking. We love it. We love to see it.
Legend.
Justin Jefferson or DJ Moore in cash.
I mean, I don't think I'd play either of them in cash. I think you would play Terry over them, or
Right.
you would get up to Cup.
Exactly. Dak versus New England or Burrow versus Detroit. I mean, Burrow will be more owned. I think their upside is pretty similar.
I like
It just would
Dak.
depend.
They're kind of the same. They're kind of like the same thing, right? Both teams haven't been throwing as much as we thought they would. Obviously, Burrow has a better matchup, but
Yep.
I mean, dude, they could just crush Detroit on the ground and just get up 2 scores
Yeah.
like off the bat.
Not to mention, like, it's always a weird in New England games. It's still weird in general, but like there's the New England defense, their run defense is way worse. So I would not blame the Cowboys if they just run Pollard and Zeke a lot, because
Yeah,
New England's not stopping.
I think I like Dak if I'm picking one.
I do too. Favorite tournament running back? My favorite tournament running back, all things considered, is probably Antonio Gibson. I think people think that it's going to be like a J.D. McKissick game, anything, or just going to build around Terry and Ricky Seals-Jones. But like the Chiefs could stomp them, and they probably will and should score a lot. But like they're not even a touchdown favorite. Like this is not like a 17-point spread. So I think there's a lot of paths where Gibson actually can have a good game. It's not that he's not used in the passing game. He's just not used in the 2-minute, and when they're trying to score quickly for some reason.
Yeah, mine is probably Dalvin and then Joe Mixon. That's probably my two favorite.
Chase Edmonds too, but I wouldn't recommend that play to anyone. Favorite wide receiver, Ben? What would yours be?
Tyreek in tournaments.
Yeah, I really like Marquise Brown. I really like. I don't know why. I think people saw this huge thing last week, and there's like one guy back. Like I think Kadarius Toney is like in a great spot again.
Yeah, I like Toney. Tyreek. Yeah. I like Robbie. I know you like Robbie too. I think Robbie Anderson's a good player.
Yeah, I like this Rams game in general. Obviously, I like Cooper Kupp. Robert Woods, even after that mega ceiling game and explosion game, I feel like he's not really being rostered. I thought he would be way more recency bias owned, but I don't think he's going to be that owned at all, because everyone's playing Kupp and Henderson. Any TY love?
I'll pass.
I have no basis to know if he's even going to be playing all the snap. I have no idea.
Yeah, I'll pass for TY.
Kupp, Panthers or Tyreek, Ravens D in cash. It's funny. I like Kupp, but I would probably go Tyreek, Ravens D. Just pure. I don't know. I mean,
I don't know, man. I mean, defense is kind of irrelevant. I think Cup's a better cash play than Tyreek, just because there's always the chance. Tyreek has way higher ceiling, but there's always the chance that it goes to Kelsey or something, or maybe the quad is actually a factor. Like I don't know. I think there's more holes to poke in Tyreek for cash
Yeah.
than for Cup. For tournaments, it's obvious you would play Tyreek.
Chargers Ravens, I would go Ravens actually, and Vikings Panthers, I would go Vikings.
I like Chargers
Not,
and
not.
Chargers Vikings. I think the Chargers can win outright here.
No, definitely. I just think the Ravens. It's weird to me that the spread is what it is. Is AJ Dillon a start? No. Dak doubles running back with Henry. Yeah, I like that. I like Dak. I mean, the more popular one, but that game just won't be stacked. I mean, I like Jacoby Myers in that spot, but I think Henry is interesting. I think if you want to get really weird, you can go Aguilar.
I have Myers and Henry both.
Yeah. We trust McCoy. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be limited, to be honest. But
Steve, you take Pittman on Fanduel over Myers if it's for cash.
Jacoby Myers on FanDuel, I think, is fine. Again, I think it's just with his PPR and like his really low touchdown equity, I prefer him on Jack, but he is pretty cheap on FanDuel. Like at the same price, I'd probably play Pittman, obviously. Patrick Sutton run it back with Ruggs or yeah, I do agree that Cortland Sutton is like knocking. I think he has in the league. I think he's the third most air yards per game of wide receivers in the league. No one's been playing him.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
If I was running it back though, I would just play Waller because especially with Kelsey's ridiculous price, Waller's going to go unowned.
Yeah.
AJ Dillon or Mark Ingram, jeez.
Yikes. I don't know, man. I guess probably Dillon at that point. He could catch some passes.
Tyreek or Devontae for cash?
Devontae.
Yeah.
He just gets too much usage, dude.
DK cash, I'm either just punting to the Lions or playing the Browns.
Yeah, I think it's Lions, Browns, Vikings for cash.
Yeah, if you
for tournaments,
spend up, I would go
Colts. And I think Broncos are interesting too. They're all the way up there. No one's playing them.
I agree.
All right, sound the alarm. Anthony Carson is typing in his core plays for subscribers live. I'm watching them hit the Google Sheet.
Oh, it's the best. Let's see. I can't wait for the random guy that makes no sense. Okay, we have one missed so far. Forgot the O in Mahomes. That's pretty normal.
Yeah, you cannot spell.
You remember last week?
Wait, yeah, go ahead.
Spelled Kadarius Toney correctly, but then misspelled Mike Williams.
Yeah,
it was incredible. Rams doubles. Yeah, I mean, I would go. I have one with Woods, Higbee. I have one with Cup and Higbee. I think Higbee is. Yeah, he will go on.
Do you think is he watching this? He typed 3 players and then paused. He just hasn't typed anything.
He probably forgot his ridiculous guy who's like not even active. Yeah, favorite run back option: Aguilar, Myers, or Henry.
Henry or
for
Myers.
me, it's Myers.
It's one of those two.
DK wide receiver for cash. Adams, Cooper, Higgins. Are you saying those are your 3 or? I probably wouldn't play Cooper in cash. I just would rather play other guys that are cheaper than him. Mixon and Hunt in the same lineup. That's fine. Yeah, I don't think Mixon's going to be that owned. Yeah, Mixon should be sub 10% owned.
Darnell Mooney is a good tournament play. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, so Alec Robinson's playing, right? But he's just not. Obviously,
yeah. Hurt. I don't think it matters anyways, though.
Yeah. Yeah, defensively just said for me, I'm basically just have Lions or Browns in cash. Those will be really high owned. Colts will get some ownership. I think agree with Ben's take. I think the Broncos are really interesting. I think the Vikings, despite me not thinking they're a good D, they have a good pass rush. So they can cause. I mean, we saw Darnold is not afraid to turn the ball over. So shut up, Jake. Mixon sucks. Don't even start.
No, I agree. I think Mixon's a good tournament play. I don't think I would, James. I just don't think the game is that good. I don't see how that game like really pops off and gets going. And I think that I would rather play Mac Jones. I'd rather play Daniel Jones if you want to dip into that sub 6K tier, and that's without even mentioning Heineke, who is going to pick up some ownership anyways. So I just don't think I would play Carson Wentz. Although Bales is playing Carson Wentz today, I know that, but I just don't. I don't know. I like Mac Jones or Daniel Jones better, I think, than Wentz. He literally still has not typed this in. I'm so confused.
Probably got lost. He's so ADD.
Herbert or Mahomes? I mean, that just depends. I mean, Herbert's going to be low owned in tournaments, but I'm like pretty all in on Mahomes today. Like
Yeah.
he has
I'm
been the
really
exact same.
really-
His numbers are slightly better than they were last year, except for picks, and 3 of his picks were like tipped. He's literally been the exact same.
Yep.
Yeah, Keenan's fine in cash, Corey. I don't have him, but I don't hate that move at all. I think it's completely fine.
Keenan Allen cash. Yeah, I mean, I think he's definitely viable in cash. I think with Mike Williams playing, he's not like a lock. But Keenan Allen, I think, is a great cash play every week. He just gets so much volume, and he gets so much red zone usage. I didn't even realize that till this week.
Yeah, he's 10th in value on your projections, Keenan. So still a good play.
Yeah, I think he gets like a third of the red zone targets, which is crazy.
Yeah, and he only has one. Let me pull it up. He only has one touchdown on the looks that he's gotten.
Mm-hmm. Low and tight end. I think basically, like, I think legitimately Mark Andrews, Ricky Seals-Jones, and Kelsey are going to take up like at least half of the tight end ownership, which is wild. So I think anyone of like Jared Cook, Hunter Henry, Tyler Higbee, Dalton Schultz, will all be sub 5% or maybe 7%, but no more than that. I don't know how injured he is. I mean, like I said, Darren Waller won't be on. TJ Hawkinson is an interesting run back in a Cincy stack. I don't know. Then he's like hurt though, isn't he? I don't know why they haven't sat him. But
Low and tight end for me, it's just like Hunter Henry and Higbee. I think are my favorites. Keenan, 9 targets inside the 20, 1 touchdown.
Wow.
It's pretty crazy.
Oh wait. Oh, never mind. Sorry, I thought I saw that Allen Robinson was inactive. I was like, holy shit. Boyd or Higgins in cash. I assume we agree it's Higgins. I don't dislike Boyd, but Higgins is probably the cash play.
Yeah, it's Higgins for sure. What is this lineup Anthony's created?
Interesting spelling of Tyreek there. Nope. Just so everyone knows, he spelled Tyreek Hill Ty, then capital R, 2 E's, 2 K's.
He's not playing Kelsey, which I think is interesting.
Well, now that he's not playing, I'm sure Kelsey will like have like the runs or something.
Yeah. No, 2 tight ends in cash is a good move this week, I think.
Then what are your I mean, what are your thoughts on the end? Are you playing any Tyler Heineke or Taylor Heineke?
I didn't end up with any, but
Bad play. I just don't think I need to drop that low.
yeah, I agree. I think he's fine though. Like if you want to use him, I don't hate it. I just
Yeah.
didn't end up with any.
It is crazy why Justin Herbert is not going owned at all. I don't really understand.
I feel like he never does though.
I don't. Yeah, it's just a weird one for me. I'm not playing Herbert in cash. I think he'll be really popular. That could burn me if he pops off for some reason, but I just don't think I need to go there. And like the Bears' offense is ass. I don't know what they're doing. Then what's your take on this? I kind of agree in somewhat. People are obsessed with QB's rushing upside. I agree they do provide such a like Lamar's floor. Like I've heard someone say this on a podcast. It's like when you play Lamar, like you're kind of starting with like a 4 to 5 point advantage based on his rushing, like at least. But I don't think it's like I think people sometimes do try to jam it in. Like think about Tom Brady, like is no rushing upside, but his pass volume is such that he has such a mega ceiling. Like last week, what did he put up 40?
Yeah, I think so. I think for cash games, you kind of have to be because like if so say this is always the conversation that we had the past couple years with Matt Ryan. So say Matt Ryan's gonna be chalk and cash this week, and you can play Matt Ryan or you can play Jalen Hurts, right? You're gonna pick Jalen Hurts because he can like suck and still score a touchdown or two and crush, right? Whereas Matt Ryan, if he's having a bad game, you're not getting saved fantasy wise. Like if he's having a bad game, you're having a bad game because he's not like you need him to throw for like 3 touchdowns to really crush his price tag. In tournaments, it doesn't matter because the fact that you're stacking that team anyways, like you're banking on them having a good day. So I don't think it matters in tournaments, but for cash, you kind of have to keep in mind these guys that have rushing upside because if they're having a bad game, they still can get there like with a good fantasy score. But if someone like Matt Ryan is having a bad day, he's gonna have like 5 points, 5 6 points.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate. Yeah, I think that was well put, Ben, honestly. Pittman, Herbert, Hubbard for flex and season long PPR. I would say Pittman or Hubbard.
I think it's Hubbard.
Yeah. Allen, Myers, Humphreys, or Myers, Pittman, St. Brown for cash. I guess the second one. I'm not trust. I can't trust. I love Adam Humphreys. Nothing else because of his name, but I'm not playing Humphreys in cash.
That's tough. Yeah, probably the second one.
Keenan, elite play. I mean, I don't know if he's as elite if Mike Williams is out, but he's still a really strong play. He's still too cheap.
Yeah, it is PY. Like for tournaments, like I it doesn't really enter my mind really. Like I just try and find what stacks I like and then I go from there. But for cash, it is a conversation. Like especially if you're debating guys, like that's a big edge in favor of one or the other.
Ron Elliott or Pollard. Zeke never gets owned. I always like Zeke in tournaments.
Yeah, Zeke. Drew, I would not play Burrow in cash. I think the cash game pool on DraftKings is really Mahomes and Lamar. And then if you want a cheap guy, it's probably Heineke. But it's like I would really try to get to Mahomes or Lamar, I think.
Yeah. Taylor or Hunt. It kind of depends on the lineup and cash tournament. I would go Hunt and cash 100%. Taylor's not going to be unowned. He'll obviously be way less owned than Hunt, but he's gonna. I'd say it'll be like half the ownership, which I don't know. Kareem Hunt could be 30 or 40% owned. So I think Jonathan Taylor does carry such a high ceiling, but like Ben was kind of talking earlier, his ceiling does get kind of hurt a little bit in that like he just can get he doesn't get scripted out. He just for some reason loses snaps to way worse running backs. I have no idea why. Ben's lost interest.
No, I was looking at projections. Like I was trying to look at a 2v2 to see which one was projecting better. But Mike was a decoy today. I mean, that could definitely be a thing, but I think if you're playing him in tournaments, like he's already so low owned, like it doesn't like it's worth the risk at least in like one tournament lineup, I feel like.
Yeah, Jake, in terms of your Dusty Randall Cobb, he is very dusty, and since I don't really have any of Adams for some reason, I just realized Adams will probably go off. But yeah, Randall, if I played Devontae Adams, will catch like 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. Mixon or Deontay Johnson at flex? Probably Mixon. No, Hilton doesn't scare me really with Pittman. I mean, it's his first game back. Pittman's super involved in the red zone, but the reason, like, I'm not playing him on DraftKings. I think on FanDuel he's like really underpriced. So I think most people will be playing him. So if he has a bad game in cash, it's not going to kill you. But like tournaments, like I'm not playing him. But for cash, it really doesn't matter because I think he's going to be so high owned.
Mm-hmm.
3v3 for cash. Lamar, Eckler, Hardman, or Heineke, Kelsey, Chase. What site is that, Ryan? Can you post if that's FanDuel or DraftKings? Anthony, I think I like Myers more than Pittman. Do you agree, Sam?
I do. Yeah, I just game script wise, yeah.
All
I
right,
don't. I this is a bad team. It's really hard to trust Carson Wentz, to be totally honest.
DraftKings. Okay, Lamar, Eckler, Hardman, Heineke, Kelsey, Chase. That is tough, man. I think it's probably the first one.
Yeah, I think it's the first one too.
No, I don't think anyone's playing Cooks in cash. T. Higgins over Myers, CJ. Katie, that's a great question. Does Bateman do anything? I hope so. I'm a big Bateman fan. I think he's going to be really good. Tough to know what his role is going to be coming back. I mean, like they activated Miles Boykin last week and he just didn't play that much. Now, obviously Bateman is a different situation. I think Bateman's better than Miles Boykin, but I don't know. I don't know. I think you could play him in tournaments and just hope that he does get on the field. But I think long term wise, I do think he's going to be good. I'm excited to watch him.
Harry Seals Jones or Evan Ingram, tight ends are on bye. I would just take Seals Jones. I mean, Evan Ingram sucks, but also I mean like Shepard's back. They have John Ross taking snaps. They have Tony. I would just take Seals Jones just because he's playing so many snaps and just hope for a touchdown.
Jacoby. Oh, I already answered that one. Damian Harris or Jamal Williams? I mean, I would have to be Damian Harris and just hopes he plays.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony, it's probably, if you're playing Herbert, I would probably just play Adams. Unless you want to play, I mean, you could play Tunyon if you want to get really weird, but it's probably Adams.
It's a run back from Green Bay with numerous playing Herbert is all Adam. I mean, it's funny from an ownership perspective. I would probably not play. This sounds probably counterintuitive. I would not play Herbert and Adams together. I get the correlation, but if Herbert is going to have a good game, that means the Bears aren't getting smoked, and Adams is probably not having a great. So like, I think those two would negatively correlate based on their positions and how
I don't
plays.
I don't think I would play
And I think
Herbert in tournaments anyways, though, so. Like, I just don't think I'd play him in tournaments.
Yeah.
I'd rather play Williams. That's a
Agreed.
great point. Bears could be down 30 and Nagy won't change the script. Yeah,
That is
That's
true.
true.
That's wrong. Yeah.
All right, guys, a couple more minutes here. Get your last minute questions in. I don't think I'm changing my cores today, man. I think I'm sticking the same.
I just really try to make a tighter player pool. I just think this is such a good tournament week with the amount of just insane. I mean, like, I think there's like 3 types of, or literally exactly like builds that are going to be really popular, and just pivoting from those, just not like.
Hill
Again,
or
I think it's going to be
Adams?
as easy as Hill over Kelsey.
It's Hill in tournaments. Adams in cash.
Yeah.
All right, I think we answered all the questions. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. We had a lot of questions today. We appreciate that. If you have any further questions, you can find us in Discord. You can join the Discord for free. If you guys didn't see in the chat earlier, our home account posted it, but we're doing a $250 cash giveaway. You can click that link, go to our Twitter, DFS_Karma, find the link there as well if you want to win $250. But we appreciate it. Good luck this week. Hopefully you guys see some green. And we'll see you guys in week